And our discussion this evening is a continuation from what we were discussing yesterday, the life and times of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And we have reached the period in Medina, and something else that happened around about this time as well, couple of years into being in Medina, was the marriage of the daughter of the Holy Prophet to Imam Ali alayhi salam, or alayhim salam. And I wanted to know, I mean, okay, he was a cousin of the Holy Prophet, but why him? I mean, you know, there were other companions. There were companions who were a lot more affluent than Imam Ali alayhi salam, and you know, maybe it would have if you like, influence that he would have had with the tribes of his then brother-in-law would be so much more great, so much greater. Yet he chose somebody from his own clan, Bani Hashim.
Yeah. Well, I remember speaking to one scholar on this. Something really touched me about why Ali, for Fatimah especially. And he said to me, you know what, said Ammar, a daughter can see who her father respects. A daughter can see who her father reveres. He said that Fatimah al-Zahra alayhi salam, growing up, saw this man, or this young man, giving absolutely everything for her father. She saw him that he was standing by her father in the Meccan period. He slept in the bed of her father, be it in the economic blockade or be it on the night of Hijrah. She then sees him as the one who her father said will accompany you from Mecca to Medina. He says, don't ever think that Fatimah al-Zahra was 1,000,000 miles away from knowing what a grand man Imam Ali alayhi salam was. So when, for example, you know, there were revered figures of Arabian society who came to propose for Fatimah al-Zahra. Abu Bakr came and got rejected, and Omar came and he got rejected, and Abdur Rahman ibn Awf came and he got rejected. And, you know, it was not because anything but the fact that Fatimah al-Zahra alayhi salam, in her mind, Ali ibn Abi Talib is the very embodiment of what she wants in the world. And so you find that when the proposal is eventually taken, Aqil, his brother, is the one who helps him in taking the proposal, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa asks Fatimah al-Zahra, and her silence was a form of her approval. But we should never forget that she's seen years of this sacrifice, and definitely she wants to be living with this great person of the religion. And you know, he's now been accepted by the Holy Prophet. But you know, one day one of the women sees him and she says, "Well, what's wrong with you? Why haven't you finished this marriage off?" And he's like, "Well, you know, I've proposed, but I'm just shy to, you know, go and continue it." And so Aqil takes him and he goes, "Come on, let's go, let's finish this off now." And he goes and he sits with the Prophet, and you know the famous story where the Prophet says, "Well, what can you offer as your dowry?" Really a story which touches the lives of many, because here you have the Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, who tells Ali, what is it that you can offer? He's not looking for the riches of the world. The Imam replied to him, "Ya Rasulullah, all I can offer is my horse, or I can offer my shield, or I can offer my sword." So the Prophet said, "Your horse, keep it for you to irrigate the land." And that really highlights to us that Imams of Ahlulbayt didn't just have a job in religious affairs. They went out and worked. Today we may have people in religious affairs or who serve the community, but they don't go out and work. You say to them, "Well, you know, why aren't you going out to work? Why don't you go and get a job?" You know, I'll rely on a job where I'll recite nikahs and I'll do Salat al-Mayyid. Okay, that's brilliant. You've done your legal studies, but you know, what else? Oh, I lead prayers in the mosque. Okay, that's fantastic, but go and get another job. There's nothing wrong at all, nothing, you know, shameful whatsoever about earning a living in different ways to ensure that your children, you know, have the happiest of lives. So he used to irrigate the land. So they said to him, "Keep your horse." They said to him, "Keep your sword, it'll serve the religion without a doubt." And then he said to him on the third one, he said, he had a shield by the name of the Hadima. Hadima means the crusher, which he had picked up from the booty of Badr. So he said, "We'll take the shield," sold the shield for 480 dirhams or whatever it was, and that became a mahar which was set in stone. I remember hearing a story from one of the famous Egyptian speakers from our brothers in other schools in Islam, who says that one of the famous Egyptian actresses, her daughter was getting married. So when her daughter was getting married, many people came to propose. So her daughter said to her mom, you know, the thing that's going to make my decision is what they're going to offer me as the dowry. I'm going to ask them from now what they're going to offer as the dowry. And so you had some who came and offered, for example, let's say some offered like the whole Cartier collection. Some offered Ferraris and Lambos. Some offered Louis Vuitton and Prada and whatever comes in the world of fashion. And some offered penthouses and yachts. And she keeps rejecting. The mother's going crazy. You know, I said, like, you're getting offered all these things. Why are you rejecting? Until someone comes and offers a straw prayer mat.
A straw prayer mat.
He comes from a well-off family, but he said, the dowry that I'll give you is a straw prayer mat. Mom, I want him. I said, what do you mean you want him? All he's offered is a straw prayer mat. The others have offered you luxuries. She said, no, Mom, I want him. She said, okay, very well, you're my darling, and whatever you want, you want. When he got accepted, he said, why do you accept me when the others have given you everything? She said to him the line, am I greater than Fatimah al-Zahra alayhi salam?
Subhanallah.
He said, no. She said, are you greater than Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam? He said, no. So she said, why should our dowry be higher than theirs? That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa used to say, the worst of woman is the one who asks for a high dowry. That's set in stone. That's a label that remains. You ask for a high dowry, then in Islam you're seen as the worst. Without a doubt, some will say our daughters have a value, but don't go extortionate in that value. Unless Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they went extortionate, no. You likewise don't go extortionate. So because of that marriage being set in simplicity, in the dowry, you found that it became the most successful marriage alongside Khadija and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's marriage.
Thank you. I would like to just pick up a point that was made yesterday with regards to the marriage and apparently Imam Ali alayhi salam angering Lady Fatima. If we could just get through that quickly.
Sure. There is a hadith which is narrated by Imam al-Bukhari, where he states that the hadith, Fatima bad'atun minni man adhaha faqad adhani. Fatima is a part of me, whoever angers her, angers me, according to the Holy Prophet. He says that was revealed because Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam wanted to propose for Juwayriyah, the daughter of Abu Jahl. So when the Prophet found out, he said, how dare he do that? Does he not know Fatima is a part of me, whoever angers me? I've looked at the hadith in a lecture of mine previously, and we've absolutely demolished it inside out from a number of angles, in terms of either the conduct of Rasulullah, where he makes forbidden that which is lawful in Islam. Ali ibn Abi Talib hasn't done something wrong, so what's a law for you and a law for somebody else? Then he says the daughter of Abu Jahl gets ahead of the daughter of Fatima. That's not the language which is used by the Prophet. Amongst the narrators is al-Karabis al-Baghdadi, and nobody takes narrations from him within the school of Ahlulbayt because of his manner and his conduct towards Ahlulbayt, which I don't really need to go into. Why would Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, of all the people he goes to propose to go to Abu Jahl's daughter, considering Abu Jahl wasn't exactly on good terms with the son of Abu Talib? So, from a number of angles, that was a concoction later on to try and show that Ali and Fatima's marriages had its issues as well. And my lecture's available on the internet. You can listen to it.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a caller who wants to make a comment, I believe. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yes, brother. If you would kindly be very brief and concise.
Very brief. Very brief. Well, actually, just I want to say is that the marriage of Imam Ali to Sayyidah Fatima is actually a divine act. Number one, it was commanded by Allah subhanahu, and it also answers those people who actually were asking yesterday, how is Imam Ali superior to the other prophets? Because I remember there's a hadith narrated by the Prophet that even if Adam alayhi salam had been present, he would not have been superior enough to marry Sayyidah Fatima. And the Prophet said, had Ali not been, if there had been no Ali, Fatima would not have been married. So this actually shows the position of Imam Ali. And the second and last point I wish to make is that it is divine because Fatima, a representative of Sayyidah Khadija, and Ali, a representative of Abu Talib, the two were united in marriage to produce children, Hassan, Hussein, Zainab, and Kulthum, to defend Islam when the time came. So there are no two ways about it. This is one of the greatest attributes of Imam Ali, because Fatima, according to the Quran, is al-Qawthar, and it is Imam Ali who is the husband of Sayyidah Fatima, and this is one of his greatest attributes.
Thank you.
Alaykum salam.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Just a slight angle off from what our brother was mentioning. You know, the authenticity of what he's saying is not, I'm not necessarily questioning, but even if, for example, let's say, I don't know, I wasn't a follower of the Ahlulbayt, and, you know, I didn't really, at this particular stage in my understanding, you know, I'm just hearing about Imam Ali for the first time. I didn't really want to, you know, entertain this stuff about, you know, his rank as per the previous prophets. Is he higher? Is he lower? I mean, really, it shouldn't really be something that I should be that concerned about at this stage, surely. I just need to understand who he is.
I really do not see the need to resort to this whole, you know, this rhetoric of divinely chosen, divinely guided in terms of marriage. She chooses the best man in Arabia. Simple as that. There's no need to say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who looked after this whole marriage. If there wasn't Ali on the earth, there would be no one equal to Fatima. In terms of in Arabia, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, he is at that position where he is the best man to lead the life of Fatima al-Zahra. If we fall into the whole discussion divinely chosen by Allah, then every school in Islam can point at marriages which are divinely chosen. As in, you know, I don't know how many people live outside the box of their local mosque, but if you're going to use that argument, there are others who can use certain marriages of the Prophet as being divinely chosen in terms of why he made such decisions.
Sure.
Fatimah al-Zahra alayhi salam is living on the earth. Ali, son of Abu Talib alayhi salam, is living on the earth. They are the best suited for each other, and there is nobody who is able to protect and lead the life of Fatimah al-Zahra. And of all the Arabs, like Amir al-Mu'min, because of what? Because Rasulullah himself has already rejected those who have come before. Fatima herself has rejected those who have come before. When she approves of someone, it highlights that this is the best person who's living there. That's it.
Thank you very much. And we had a call.
Wanted to discuss this dua to the youths in particular years. That I was once speaking in another center in London. Different subject. I was not even speaking on Ilahi al-Umal. And well, when I saw an alim, and he was dressed in his kaba and a black turban, so I knew he was a Sayyid. When he raised his hand, of course I gave him priority. But you see, we've got to be careful these times, because some of these people come in the wrong garb. He called himself a Shia Sayyid, and he questions me, he says, what do you say about that dua which starts Ilahi A'udhu Bala? I will not detain you on that history. In less than a minute I'll finish this part of the story to come to the main point. He says, what do you say about that dua Ilahi A'udhu Bala? And I mentioned to him the authorities that I mentioned to you. I said, well, I regard that as authentic. The first book that comes to our mind is Mafatih al-Jinan, that Shaykh Abbas Qummi, Mafatih al-Jinan, has reported this from the 12th Imam alayhi salam. Fortunately, I remembered the account of Allama Tabrasi alayhi rahmah. Put that to him. He says, oh, this is all Shia fabrication. All this is not authentic, because reciting this dua is shirk. And there is guna in it. I said, look, I cannot accept that at all. It's taught by an Imam alayhi salam, an Imam who was sent by Allah to stop us from shirk. If there is anybody who will teach us to keep away from shirk, it will be him. He would not be doing the contrary. But I said, this is not my subject, it's not a matter for discussion now, and I will not permit you to take time of the audience on that subject and cut him short. But I realize that there are agencies within us who are promulgating this, and I thought we'd better make this clear. You can see from the first paragraph of this dua, it is a dua to Allah.
You and I have to know what was going on through the heart of Fatimah al-Zahra when she lost her father, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he passed away. She said, oh Father, masa'ib, disasters came on me because of your departure. If these disasters were poured on the night, it would turn day.